I'm Heaven,
I'm Joy.
and today we're going to talk about a lot of the issues that plague the black community. But first, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Joy. I'm a student at UMSL, and this is my first year here in college. And yes, I like to speak on, kind of controversial topics amongst other people. And yeah,
Okay, so if I had to give you 5 things that you think plague the black community, give me just 5. If we could fix 5 of them right now.
I would definitely say street culture is one. I don't know if I can get five, but I can definitely say street culture.
And what do you think the street culture is?
A lot of people getting involved in, gang violence, drug abuse, the whole you gotta be a thug, you can't, show compassion, love, empathy, you in it by yourself, this whole, lifestyle of, I don't know how to say it like
I do believe that the streets are romanticized, and no one really looks at the. So I believe that there are possibly 3 to 4 outcomes. First, you will die, which is the worst outcome. Second, you will go to jail. Or third, and the third option is you'll be stuck. This is what I fear to happen. That'll happen for a lot of young black boys. They will die on the block in the house that their mama is renting. So they're gonna give their life to the streets and do all of these extremely bad things, all for a house that they don't even own, for government subsidized housing.
exactly.
Or you can make it out, but it's like if you have to harm all these people to make it out, I don't believe that it's worth it. And I think you lose a part of yourself in the process. So yeah, I think gang idolatry is a bad one as well. And that's just how we view rappers and thugs. Like this is for the ones who don't even get into it, but that they think is cool, and they don't really see a problem with it. They always excuse it.
Yeah, and I feel like that the streets is dead. When people say the streets is dead, that is so true because so many people who are involved in the streets and stuff, when push come to shove, they tell, they run, they hide. They tell when they get arrested, they telling on everybody, or either they run from the problem, or either they hide. They hide from who they truly are, or they hide from like their ops or their opposition, whoever. Like, and the people be beefing. And I seen another quote. It was like, y'all be beefing over blocks just to get buried in the same cemetery. Like literally, they die, and it'd be the same scenario. They mothers or either their girlfriends or sometimes wives have to struggle to get them a proper burial. And even if they have kids, their kids then are raised without their father.
Then the cycle perpetuates
It
itself.
keeps going.
I believe that one of the biggest issues, like this is so random. We are civilians, so why would we care about who's snitching?
Exactly.
Also, if me and you commit a crime, we're already doing something that we're not supposed to do. So if you telling me the only way to fix this scenario is if I don't commit a crime.
Exactly.
Because I can't let's say we rob somebody and someone dies. I can't hold you a murderer, me a murderer, who I think you already have a low moral standing. Why? Oh, so you could kill somebody, but now you're in the wrong for snitching.
You're already in the wrong.
Like we've already done enough
And
fast.
most of the time when people get confessions, like the police be like, you already gonna face some type of time. You're already gonna get some type of consequence. Just tell us what happened. It makes the process go smoother because if you just take a plea deal, you avoid the whole trial thing. Y'all keep staying anonymous, not telling. It's somebody sitting in jail. Like you can sit in jail free. It's people who sat in jail for too long. Just because they don't want to tell, they don't want to tell the truth on what happened. Like,
Yes.
you have too much allegiance to these people. Like, you're being controlled.
What Cat Williams said, your allegiance to losers.
Exactly, like, y'all
Also,
are losers.
The amount of people jailed, like so at the kid, when Kid Cudi testified against Diddy at the trials, everyone's like, Kid Cudi is such a snitch. First off, he was subpoenaed by the federal government. If he doesn't tell, he could sit in jail indefinitely.
Exactly.
Like, also, he's not a gangster rapper. Like, I do think that's a big issue. That rap has become less of a medium to express yourself fully and truthfully, and more of a way to convey. I think it conveys lots of red pill behaviors. You talk about the way that they portray sex as a violent act that they do to women and not a harmonious thing that they do with them. and it's just it tells you to commit crimes, to lie. I just think that the average rapper today, I'm obviously not talking about the greats like the Kendrick Lamar, or even like the more poppy rappers like Drake, for example. Although he's problematic too, but I think that the average rapper today will tell you how to commit a crime, where they did it, and when they did it.
Exactly. Come on now. I also feel like, like how you said, like a lot of the rhetoric around sex, it is used as like an act against women, not with women, but against them. Like, how people be like, oh, I got cracked, or I cracked her. Like, that sounds just so like violent to crack something.
That's not like out of context. It sounds like you're kind of committing a crime against somebody.
Like you crack somebody's head open, or you crack bones, like
yes,
you crack eggs, like that's kind of, I don't know, that's a little. But then people love that you too woke term, and like over there they was like, why do you care so much? And I'm trying to explain to them is the mindset that if we don't stop, we gotta stop somewhere. We gotta stop people in their tracks somewhere. If we don't stop,
I believe in nipping it in the bud. Here's my thing: we live in a capitalist society. But let's say, like everyone knows that when our tags say "made in China," it was not sourced ethically, and it was little kids making it. So everyone knows that when I get this new iPhone, how it's made, but I need a phone to live in society, and I need a car, and all of that. So my thing is, if I'm making 10 unconscious bad decisions a day, I can at least make 10 good ones in how I speak and how I behave myself. So I don't believe in too woke friend because.
I just be like, okay, then maybe you don't need to be in my circle. You can't understand what I'm trying to put out, and I'm not even trying to. But people, we're so trained to think that like anything speaking against what's the norm, it's like I'm attacking you. I'm not attacking you.
I'm just attacking what you're saying to me
and what you're portraying. And like I said, I'm trying to explain to them over there, it's detrimental. And they was like, why do you care? Why are you being so loud? Y'all be focused on everything else. Y'all be focused on all the background noise. When the main focus is this lifestyle and the portrayal of street culture and it being popularized and glamorized is detrimental. Because look at us now. We talking about getting fresh, wearing this, wearing that, going here, drinking this.
Materialism has I believe, has held the black community back.
And our neighborhood ain't even ours. It's a black neighborhood. Black people live there. Black people don't own nothing.
And the same man owns 7 of the 10 buildings on the block. Like if the amount of money, black people are some of the heaviest consumers of, obviously, haircut products and shoes. If we spent that money on investing in anything else, like when Target removed its DEI programs, when black people started saving their money, I believe if we can do that for lots of things that we don't need, we can progress. But if you ever notice, a black person will look you down and not up and down. They'll start at your shoes and end off on your brain. And I understand that, like, that's probably how you see someone if they're walking up to you, but I just think it's the little things. It's like you really prioritizing what I'm wearing and not who I am.
Yeah, that's 1 of 5. Another thing, I don't know. I would say we when we look for a goal, I don't know how to categorize this, but like black people, when we're making goals for what we want in life, we have white people as the standard a lot.
We do hold white people as the standard.
We want to reach. Well,
I don't think
white people have this and white people have that.
Or white people get to. I don't think that they want to abolish the system. I just think that they want to take the white man's place in it.
I'm like, yeah, we can't do that. They be like, we vacation like white folks. Like, no, I'm vacationing like black folks because I'm black on vacation. Like,
yes.
I don't like how a lot of black people we be like, we can't do this because think of how white people gonna look at us. Like, no, you shouldn't do it because you don't think it's right. You shouldn't do it because white people think it's wrong. Like, you should do it because how you think. And that's like so like degrading to us on our own. And
I do believe that a lot of black men want the white man's position in society, which is why whenever they get up there, they flip on the black community so fast. Like they'll use us as stepping stools to get to a place, and once they get there, they're abandoning ship.
For real, they just forget about everybody else. But they was like a lot of black people, once they reach a certain amount of wealth, they do start, leaning more right and more conservative. Like, we have to always be perfect. We have to always be polished in what we do and how we present ourselves and how we look like.
But here's my thing. Why don't you want to be polished? Why would you want to wear your pants down to show your...
But I'm saying polished, like, I'm thinking, like, from a girl's perspective, a lot of black women and black girls tear down other black women and black girls for how they present
your
their
hair not done, blah,
or like clothes you like to wear.
Also, my belief is if my hair grows out of my head this way, it has. Why are you saying it's not done? It's growing out of my head this way.
Like, I can't prefer to want my hair like...
Or they think that wearing your hair, if you do like a protective natural style, that they think is childish.
Yeah. Like, people be like, I need this, I need to get bundles, I need a wig. That's gonna make me look... I'm not gonna look like my age. Like, no, you look like your age. It's okay. It's okay if you don't look your age, because, like, we shouldn't be so focused on how we can assimilate into this world, because, like, we're chasing waterfalls.
We're chasing something. You could here's my thing. MAGA is called MAGA. Black MAGA is called Black MAGA. Do you see the problem with that?
Yes.
Whenever you're a black person in that type of group, you're always the black person of that category. You're never just in it. Like, Latinos for Trump. Why wasn't that just called people for Trump? Because they're saying you could move up the ladder, but you'll never be at the big kids table.
Exactly.
You'll always be in the kiddie chair.
I'm just like, that's another... what else? I don't want to seem like...
I think every little... What I've always found a problem with is that they've always used education as a means to sports, when percentage-wise, you are more likely to get struck by lightning probably than go to the NBA.
Yeah.
And in the Coach Carter movie, when they were mad and all he wanted them to have was a 2.7 GPA,
Right.
they were like, basketball is all he has. That is the problem. Why doesn't he have a trade or a skill? So I do think that leaning away from sports, I think you should use sports as a way to build character and not as a
like
way...
friendships, learning to work with other people.
Unless your son is LeBron James, who he was 6'9" at 15, so it's like, okay, but realistically,
also, like, even
sports
if
should
your
never be
son-
your only option.
Yeah, even if your son is LeBron James, he still needs to have some type of literacy to him. Because so many people are illiterate, like, literally, like they said, I don't even know what that means. So why are you arguing about stuff you don't know the meaning behind?
Why aren't we okay with asking for help? And if you don't know, why are you arguing a point that you don't understand?
Because I'm quick to say, what does that mean? I'm like, what's an example of that? Because I don't know. I feel like knowledge is power. It's the most powerful thing on earth. If you know what's going on, you know what's going on. Like, if you don't have any type of literacy to you, you cannot live in this world efficiently. And people just survive because a lot of people are functionally illiterate. Like, I can say, for an example, it's quite a few family members of mine who are functionally illiterate.
Yes. I believe that, like, earlier today, guys, what we just got finished talking about, one of my friends said a blanket statement, and then the other one was like, who are you talking about? That's not me. And my thing is, if the shoe doesn't fit, why are you trying to wear it? Unless he's saying your name, or somebody with a black and gray Nike tag, unless they're making it about you, the only way you would think it's about you if you know you're in it wrong. So I've always like,
Yeah.
if he's not talking about you, let him not talk about you.
Because a hit dog gonna always holler. So I'm just like, even when he said, like, I heard him, but I didn't take no offense to it. I'm like, he not talking about me. Because he literally said, y'all. And like I said, people are functionally illiterate. So some people think when you say y'all, that you're talking directly to someone. No, y'all is a general term. It literally means you all. So, like, in the all of it, you can be anywhere in there. And if you're not in the all, then you're like me. I'm like, oh, he not talking to me.
I think that a lot of suburban kids, because people think that being hood is cool, the idea of it, that they really desensitize themselves and separate themselves from the reality of it. Like, growing up poor literally changes and messes with your nervous system. You're always worrying about the next meal. You're always doing things that the average person does not have to grow up with. So when I see someone who is of like the upper echelon, glamorizing, it's like because you only get to see the fun parts, the driving stolen cars, the stuff that
Right, having the hot fences and stuff, like, having to walk everywhere. Like, they used to be. I grew up in the suburbs, but I didn't grow up. When people say suburbs, a lot of times people do think you grew up in a white neighborhood, but my neighborhood was still black. So some people even say I didn't grow up in the suburbs because I grew up around black people.
That's also an issue.
Yeah,
Why
I'm
do
like-
we only associate suburbia with the
I'm
wealthy
like, no,
whites?
this is the suburbs because everyone's house kind of looks the same, and we don't live in a city,
And
we
it's
don't live in a country.
And the property value is up there.
Yes, like everyone's house is like almost $150,000 or more. I'm like, this is the suburbs, y'all. The trash runs weekly. Like, come on now, this is the suburbs. We don't live in poverty. And like when I was younger, I used to think like everyone just lived like me. Everyone, lived comfortably. But then I realized some people don't. Some people live with less. Some people don't have what I have to live, and they're are just surviving, or they're watching their parents struggle. And I feel like, I'm like, well, that's kind of sad. But some people look at that and they're like, that's cool. Like, I got this edginess to me. And some people think that like your reward is greater if you came from nothing.
Some people don't respect how far you've gotten, and unless how far you've they don't respect, they only respect the struggle. They don't respect like how I got there. Like, I don't think my suffering needs to be as great as yours to be respectable, because I have what I have. Now, the more you have, obviously, the easier it is to get to higher heights. But I don't respect the struggle. I respect hard work. I respect hard work ethic. I respect what you're doing.
I like ambition.
Ambition, yes. But the struggle is not.
Yeah, I literally had a white teacher one time when I was talking about Barack Obama, and I was like, Barack Obama he came a long way. You become president, and the first black president at that, you're coming a long way. And he's like, Barack Obama didn't grow up poor. He's been richer for longer than he's been poor or considered, less than. He was like, he didn't come from nothing. I'm like, why are you, what? We can't be happy that a black man or a black person, period, came
0 to 50
way.
is the exact same distance as 50 to 100, right?
Hello. So I'm like, and a lot of people like that. And that's why some people be lying and be trying to act like they came from nothing. So it can look like when they get to where they want to be, or they reach their goals, that they'll have, a greater impact. Like, no, I still respect people who, got this goal and they had nothing, or got this goal and they had something, or got this goal and they were further than everyone else. Like, I still respect that, because it still took some type of ambition, some type of goal. But people glorify that.
The struggle.
What's it called? What's that song by Drake where he's like, started from the bottom? Like,
yes. Oh, your bottom was in where Sandy lives, suburban Canada. But it sounds better than started from the middle.
Yeah,
So yeah, the struggle is gonna rise.
People was all over that song, so it's like, I don't like that. That's a problem too with the black community. They think you gotta go, and that also prompts a lot of black people, when they reach a certain level and they have kids, they won't help their kids out.
Well, my kids not gonna be spoiled. Then why do you have this big house if they can't have friends over?
They like, my kids still gotta go to work. They still gotta do this. They still gotta do that.
Why?
That's different with my dad, because my dad, he grew up on the north side. My dad literally was living in the projects with no AC, nothing. And even the projects was kind of worn down. Y'all can look it up. It's Pruitt-Igoe Projects, north side, St. Louis. Y'all, my dad came from nothing. And he still don't want his kids to struggle. He still say that all the time. He be like, I do not want y'all to struggle. I do not want y'all to ever have to live how I live. None of that. So I'm like, why come it's not clicking for some people? Why do some people just behave like this? I don't understand. I don't get it. I know it's something with their psyche, but I just don't get it. And it's detrimental. And some people don't want to be called out and called wrong, or say oh yeah, I was in the wrong, or I don't know what's going on. Some people don't. They will fight to the end and don't know what they talking about.
And my thing is, it's always okay not to know. I feel but once you become willfully ignorant, it's you don't know, and you're getting offered the information and you're refusing it. That's when I have an issue with it, because you're getting avenues of learning, and people will tell you and try to help you get it, and you're refusing it.
help. And I feel like help isn't help unless it helps. And I feel like you gotta want it. But some people just don't want to do better. They want to be stuck in their ways. And I'm like, you gotta let that stubbornness go. You cannot grow in comfortability. You gotta be uncomfortable to grow and become better. Because,
I think obviously fatherlessness plays a very big part and a very big role, and it's also it's not having a father, and it's also not having a father figure at all. Because sure, your dad might not have been in your life, but if your uncle was, then you could still grow up to be solid.
Grandpa,
My thing is, whenever I approach a new situation, I understand that I only know what I know, and I think I'm right, but I'm always open to, I could be wrong on this front. So if I'm getting presented with new information, I shouldn't approach it like everyone is attacking me or that I know everything. That's how.
I'm like, because maybe I might be misunderstanding what's going on. Because a lot of times some people are misunderstanding the point you're trying to get across, and then they just start going off and parading and attacking you. And it's like, hold on, that's not even what this was about. And then we come to an agreement. But yeah, I do think the black community does have a lot of that going on.
I think another big problem is that we try to save everyone, and everyone has never been able and will never be able to be saved, regardless.
Yeah. That's why I said, like, some people you cannot, they're stuck in their ways. They don't want to be saved. They be like, I know, I don't care. That's all I need to know.
Keep not caring. Keep being stuck where you are. I also, this is what I don't like. They try to grade your blackness based on how much you suffered.
Yeah, like, I'm still black.
And they associate properness with whiteness, which is a big issue.
Even when you're smart, because like growing up, I used to get, like how they have like the incentives for kids who have like good grades or whatever, and people be like, Joy want to be white. No, I don't. Trust, I don't.
This is actually what I think. I don't. Obviously, there are other coons that talk white, who like imitate white inflection patterns. But as a kid, when I think someone was telling you that you're talking white, I think that they meant that you were being condescending in a way, and they were used to white people being that, and they didn't really have the words to articulate it, so they were telling you talk white. But I don't believe that in our none of our black friends have ever told me that I talk white. They do say that I talk proper, but I've never gotten that I talk white in my adult life. But I do think when kids say that it's that they mean that you're talking arrogantly and the way that they're used to white people speaking to them, and they don't really know how to articulate that in any way.
Yeah. I never got the you talk white. I always get the you act white or you want to be white, because like people would associate intellect with whiteness.
And if you're doing that, that means the white man has already won.
Right, like why do you think only white people are the standard of like intelligence? Like, my bad, I wanted to learn something and apply it in my life. My bad for that.
Sorry, I'll ask your permission next time.
Yes, I'm like, some people mind it don't be in the right place.
Also, the youth, I do think that we should get them into more programs. Like, I've always, like, my little brother, back when he was like 7, before your knees are fully formed, he could do flips. He could do flips off the ceiling. But a little black boy in gymnastics has never really sat right with certain communities. So it's like, even if you want to put your kid in sports, I agree with that, but why don't you put them in a sport that they actually like and actually nurtures their natural talent?
Yeah, my niece, she does gymnastics. Like, that girl, she loved jumping on stuff, hanging on stuff, climb. She used to climb, like, when she was 1, we would put her in her crib or in her playpen, and she would climb up, like, balance herself, and then, like, flip over it and land to where she didn't hurt herself and get up out of it. I'm like, yeah, this girl, she's got some skill. But I also think, like, if she was a boy, they would not want her to do that.
Also, little boys are encouraged to be curious in ways that little girls are not encouraged to be curious. Yeah. Like, a boy would be a boy. I think that phrasing and that terminology really encourages lots of bad behavior. And growing up, the worst thing that could happen to me was being put in a group project with a boy. because that means he's not going to listen, he's not going to pay attention, he's going to be loud and obnoxious, and those are things that girls are not allowed to be in a school setting. And it's like, what I've always hated about, we're going to transition, what I've always hated about the school setting is that whenever it was a boy acting up, you know who they're placing by? The quiet girl. It's like, my job is not to parent him or keep him in check. That's unacceptable.
They be like, hopefully they're like, how you act and how you behave will rub off on him.
Hey, I'm 8. That's not my responsibility.
Yeah, that's not how it works. I'm like, yeah, the adults. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That's not, in a sense, that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, guys. Thanks for listening. That's all from us.